Hello. Hello. Shivangni can't hear you, but can you hear me?
There has to be a webinar tab, right? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Sanjay.
Hi.
All right. We'll give everyone like another 30 seconds. There are attendees joining in. So thank you for everyone's patience. All right, let's get started. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining, and we appreciate your time. Uh, this is going to be a 30-minute webinar on optimizing debt collection, which is going to be presented by Sanjay Deshmukh, who is our Executive Vice President, and he specializes in propensity solutions. My name is Balaji Krishnamurthy, and I head sales for Findability Sciences. I'm an uh, uh, based in the Boston area. So we really appreciate everyone joining in today. Since it's going to be just 30 minutes, we want to make full use of the time. So I'll hand it over to Sanjay. Please post your questions on the chat at any time. We'll be taking up those questions at real time and also at the end of the webinar. So once again, thank you so much for joining. Sanjay, over to you.
Thank you, Balaji. Good morning, good evening, depending on which area of the globe you all are joining from. Thank you very much for your time today. I know in the US it is election results and it's pretty tense now. And thank you for your time in attending this webinar. So I'm going to talk about optimizing debt collection in healthcare using AI-based propensity solutions. I hope you are able to hear me well and also able to see my screen.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
are.
Okay, so COVID-19, of course, it has grabbed everybody's attention, and it's been a pandemic which has impacted healthcare and healthcare services the most for the past 8 or 9 months. And it has most importantly impacted hospital finances a lot. So this is Kaufman Hall, a reputed consultant in the healthcare sector. So what they have concluded based on their own study is that despite the stimulus payment under the CARES Act, COVID-19 has really affected the operating margins of all the hospitals, and hospital margins for the majority of the hospitals are expected to turn negative, or they have already turned negative in the past quarter. Secondly, Credit Karma, it's a consumer finance company in the US, and they were interviewed by USA Today. And they have done a very wide scale study of almost 20 million members. And they have reported that the medical debt worth almost $45 billion is in collections. What it means is that this debt has been handed off to collection agencies to follow up and collect from the patients as well as the payers. It's a pretty huge amount. Thirdly, again, Credit Karma has reported that the household medical debt, which was before the pandemic about 3% of the overall debt of a US household, has increased to 7% recently in the month of August 2020. This is a substantial increase in the debt situation for the patients and individuals. So the margins are tightening and the regulations are becoming more and more onerous. And in such a scenario, the AI-based, artificial intelligence-based propensity solutions can really help to streamline revenue management, especially the debt collection function in healthcare sector. So how do we do that? So let's take a look at a revenue management cycle. I think most of the attendees are quite familiar who are actually practitioners in this space. But just as a recap, once the patient registers, a patient gets examined, then his condition is encoded, and there is the patient is treated, then there is claims is filed. Insurance pays part of the amount. Insurance may not pay depending on either there may be a payment or there may be a denial. Patient is billed for the remaining amount, and then it goes to collection. So there is collection is required both from payer, or it may be required from patient directly, individual patient. And finally, when the collection happens, the revenue is materialized. So today's focus for this webinar is the piece of debt collection and how do we improve the performance of debt collection, and how your teams who are responsible for collecting debt can maximize the payments and collections without increasing manpower. So how do we bring in propensity? So what is the propensity to pay the debt, and how do we prioritize the collections effort based on what the AI-based propensity modelers tell us? So how does a propensity solution work? So let me just take you through the process flow. So think that you are a hospital. So hospital, you are generating a lot of data about, you have patient demographics, then you have treatment details, so you have patient's credit score perhaps, then you have insurance information, etc. That data, what you already possess, can be securely transferred to us, to the findability sciences team. And what we do is our solution is automated propensity modeler. So it does prediction of propensity to pay. So the data that we receive from you is prepared, it is cleaned, and then it is uploaded into our platform. which is a completely automated platform for ranking the propensity of individual debt or individual patients' invoices that you have. The output of this is really a propensity score. So those results are uploaded back into the secured data exchange server, from where it is sent. You can have the data is sent back to the hospital in the form of a payment propensity report. Using this payment propensity report, the collections team can prioritize the debtors from a collections perspective. So you get a ranking of each individual debt that is there on your books, and you can prioritize your efforts using the propensity score. And how do we do that? So I'll talk about that in more detail in the subsequent slides.
Sanjay, there is one question.
Yeah.
The question is on the data flow. Since it's hospital and since it's the HIPAA compliance, so does that SFTP server? So the question is like, does the data leave the data center of the hospital, or is this in the does it go to the platform?
Right. So actually, so there are different ways of handling, and I think HIPAA and personally identifiable patient information is very, very critical. So this solution, first of all, we don't need any PII information. The personally identified patient information is not needed. So that information can be masked or it can be removed before sharing the data. Number two is this solution itself can be entirely installed either on cloud, but also within the hospital's premises on your own server within your firewall. And it can operate there also. So as a result, depending on the individual situations, it is possible to address any concern of data security. Does it answer the question, Balaji? Shall I move ahead?
Yes, please.
So what are the steps involved in modeling, AI modeling? So first is, for example, whatever historical data that you have as a healthcare provider, and that data and what variables are needed, I will cover that in the later slides. But let's say you have data points which are columns of data, which are really nothing but your variables, and which you might have n number of variables. So it could be 30, it could be 40, it could be 50, or even 100 variables. And then you have certain number of records. So those records may number 100, 1,000, or 10,000 records, or even more. And so for example, I have shown here a record 10 records to convey the concept. So this data is the raw data that you possess, which is really your historical data of what about each patient's information. What is done with it is that this data is divided into two parts. One is, so it's about 80% of the data is used for AI model development. So the top table here that you see is the data which is used for modeling purpose. So what happens here is, that we define a target variable, and that target variable is what is going to be predicted for a probability of payment. So the target variable is really what is the propensity, or what is the probability that this patient or this payer, which is an insurance firm, is going to pay this due. So this data is divided into 80% for modeling purposes, and 20% for model validation purposes. So once we define the target variable and we ingest the data into the AI platform, then it determines all the unique patterns within the data set automatically, and it develops a relationship between the target variable and each of the set of independent variables, and develops multiple models automatically. So the three key features of this AI platform is that it is self-learning. What we mean by self-learning is that it learns from your data automatically. So it doesn't need a data scientist, or a minimal effort from data scientists is needed for model development. Secondly, is it is fully automated. So what it means is that the entire model building process as well as the scoring process is fully automated. And third is it is a multi-modeling platform. So which means that it develops multiple models. It does not try to fit one single model to the entire data set. So overall, as a result, the overall accuracy of models and the scores that it generates is improved drastically. So once the model is developed, then the next step is propensity scoring. So so for propensity scoring, using the model that were previously developed, and we work with your current data set. Current data set is the debt which is still outstanding and which is to be collected. So let's say, for example, those records are numbered from 11 to 20 in a serial order, and the same set of variables are available for those patients and those payers whose debt is still outstanding. Then the AI propensity models which were developed in the previous steps are applied to this new data set, and each of the record is automatically scored. So the output that is produced looks somewhat like this. So each of the record number is also present in this data set. All the records are numbered are sorted in the order of high to low propensity, and each record will have a propensity of payment. So for example, the propensity of for the record number 20 may be 95%, and for record number 15 is 90%. And for example, the record number 12, it may be just 25%. So, and each of these records may be scored using different models. So the platform or our AI solution chooses the model automatically and applies the best model for a given record. And it applies a propensity score to each of the record. So these then can be divided, your entire data set can be divided into, for example, three bands of having high propensity, medium propensity, and low propensity. So high propensity are all those records which are having a propensity of 75% and more. And those records which are between 40 and 75% are, say, in the medium propensity category. And those which are below 30% are in the low propensity category. So this kind of, so each record gets scored, and then it is ready for applying an execution strategy to benefit from this propensity scoring. So I'll go to the propensity scoring now. So for example, there can be a strategy which is based on aging of your debt. So your debt may be in various aging buckets such as 30 days, 60 days going up to, let's say, 180 days. After 180 days, you may be transferring the debt to a debt collection agency. And these are the various propensity scores along with which all your records have been ranked. And obviously, the lower the aging of the propensity may be high. So all these records that you see in blue are really the ones which have a higher propensity or higher probability of getting collected, and the ones which are marked in gray cells have the lower probability of getting collected. So how do we now design a calling strategy or a follow-up strategy with this data? So you have the propensity score, you have the aging bucket, and you have this kind of a distribution. And of course, your distribution could be a little bit different from this, but this is just an example. So using this, what we observe is the area which is marked between these two red arrows is the most important area, because that's really the area at the borderline of high and low propensity of getting collected. So the one to the left and above of this arrow has a high propensity, and the one to the area to the right and bottom has a lower propensity. And the area between two arrows is the borderline area. So what we suggest and what we suggest as a propensity strategy is we mark these area which is between two arrows in green, and then part of the area is in yellow, and then part of the area is in red. So the green is the borderline area where you are likely to receive maximum sort of bang for the buck by having a greater follow-up against these, because these are bottom line, uh, these are the boundary condition cases for debt collection. If you see these top red ones, the propensity is quite high and the aging is low. So you can make only one call or one follow-up in a week and still you may be good. Whereas if you see this bottom right, which are marked in red, so these are all your lowest propensity and the aging is also high. So here again, even if you were to make too much effort, you may not get results. So doing just one follow-up per week may be sufficient. But all the ones which are marked in green, you should make maybe as many as 3 follow-ups per week, because that is where you are going to, your effort is going to be maximized. And the ones which are marked in yellow between the red and the green bands, so that is where you should make intermediate follow-ups, say 2 follow-ups per week or 2 calls or 2 dials per week will give you the maximum return for your investment. So this is how you develop an execution strategy which is based on the propensity score. So many people that we work with, they say, okay, some solution providers, they provide just a propensity, but we don't know what to do with it. But we actually convert that into an execution strategy, which the collection team can very well understand, follow it, and see the results for themselves in terms of the improvement in collections. So how does this, what are the strategy insights you gain from this? So first of all, how many follow-ups to which type of customers? That's the first question that gets answered. Second is which debt should be sent to debt collection agencies, because whatever is a high priority, high propensity, that you should retain, but the one which is low propensity and stickier debt, you can send it to debt collection agency, because sending, there is a cost attached to that. And you can also decide what kind of discount offers or concessions that you can make to which type of patient or which type of payer to improve your overall collection based on the propensity score. Second execution strategy can be based on the balance amount of the invoices. So for example, you on the left, you have propensity to pay, which is either high, medium, or low. And the outstanding balance is either maybe low balance, for example, less than $500, and high balance to be more than $500, going up to, let's say, $5,000 or even more. And then by combining the high, for example, high propensity and high balance, you need steady follow-up. Low propensity but high balance, you need a strict follow-up, etc. So you can develop again execution strategy for follow-ups, which is based on a combination of the balance amount of the debt as well as the propensity. And this again helps you to answer questions such as which customer to follow up with, which debt should be sent to collection agency, and what discount offers to make. So this is a visual on what kind of collection uplift that you can expect by strategy type. So the BAU strategy is this area which is marked in red, which is, for example, when the data, all your debt is divided into 10 equal parts of 10 deciles, you may have some kind of a linear collection, because that's really a random strategy, not based on any propensity. But when you apply propensity strategy, then you can experience an uplift of almost 15 or 20%, especially in the higher deciles. This area shows your uplift. So this purple area here is uplift using the propensity strategy. And when you combine the propensity strategy with the appropriate execution strategy, then you can further improve the uplift, going up to as much as 135% or 145%. So this can, with the right combination of propensity strategy and execution strategy, you can get uplifts in excess of 25 going up to 35% on your overall debt portfolio. So what do we do from here? If you're interested to have a conversation, what will we need from you? So first is your data collection, debt collection data points. What is the collection performance that you are having? What kind of benchmarks that you have in mind? But are you, if you might be underperforming, or you want to enhance your performance, and what is your expected performance benchmark for collections improvement? What can you expect from us? So we can do a quick test on your data for up to 2 weeks. If you're interested, please contact us. One of us will be very happy to work with you to improve, to apply AI propensity solution to your data and show you the results. And you can expect that your collection ratios, overall collection ratios, you can see an uplift of in excess of 20%, and return on your investment will be greater than 100%. So what are the features and benefits? Complete data security, as I mentioned earlier, minimum intervention or changes to your existing software or process flow. And we can assist you with the execution strategy development also, not just the AI/ML, but the full solution, including AI strategy development.
That was a question which was there, Sanjay, is does this connect with the existing IT investment that the hospital has made?
Yes, so we can connect using API. So as long as there is API-based connectivity, or if you can upload, you provide a CSV or Excel flat files, then we can work with that and provide you the data in the same format. And our propensity score will be appended to your existing data. So it's very easily and readily consumable with a minimum disruption or implementation time frame. So these are some of the examples of variables that are needed, such as maybe a patient ID, which can be masked, or it can be replaced with another ID. Patient demographics, therapy, credit status and date, payer name, insurance plan name, billing date, aging bucket, balance amount, amount collected. So very normal data which you're likely to possess. And we have worked with a few healthcare providers who so this kind of data points are sufficient to build a robust propensity solution. So there are some sample use cases that we have worked with. One is a leading healthcare provider in the US. They have, so we do propensity for their aging debt, which is aging between 91 days and more, going up to 365 days, and they have witnessed collection uplift performance of almost 25%. There is a retail chain in the US, which is so they issue a credit card, and we are doing the payment propensity for the credit card debt as well. And they have seen uplift of 15% in their debt, which is between 0 to 180 days. And then there is a large telecom services provider in North America. So they also have, so we do debt collection payment propensity for them, who have seen a collection uplift of 25%. So there are a number of more use cases, but these are some of the examples that we have for payment propensity. And why Findability Sciences? We have expertise in AI-based propensity solutions. Our platform is completely automated and very quick to implement. We have experience in healthcare debt collections for providers. We serve several global brands who are our customers. We use latest AI tools, very high accuracy, award-winning platform. Wide range of AI applications. We are a SoftBank portfolio company, as well as we have joint venture with SoftBank. We are headquartered in Woburn, Massachusetts, and we are a global company based in US, Canada, Japan, and India. And we also ranked on Inc. 5000 list for 2020, being one of the fastest growing American private companies. So with that, we are just close to 30 minutes, and we can take some questions if you have any.
So we'll just give 10 seconds. For now, I don't see any questions on the chat window, but for everyone, we have tried to collate all the information and present it to you in 30 minutes. There is a lot of information that is available and can be shared. What we will do is share this presentation to you via email and then try and follow up, set up a follow-up time to kind of uh, either show you a demo or set up a consulting conversation that can help you in setting your strategy for propensity payments. And we'll give 30 seconds more. Sanjay, thank you so much for your time. Thanks everyone for joining, and have a fantastic day or a good evening wherever you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We'll now end the meeting.
Yeah. Should I end it?
Yep.